The Center for Philosophy of Religion presents God and Other Minds. Kathy is a Christian who has started to dabble in philosophy. She has been reading about philosophical arguments for and against the existence of God, and is happy to have discovered that each of the atheistic arguments she has encountered so far has been met with an adequate reply from its opponents. Kathy is worried, however, for it is also true that each of the theistic arguments she has encountered has likewise been shown to be inadequate by its opponents. In other words, she is worried because it looks as if the evidence and arguments she is aware of for God's existence aren't powerful or persuasive enough to make her belief in God rational. Moreover, Kathy has heard from her friends and has been impressed by the rule that says the only time that belief in God is rational is when there is sufficient evidence in its favor. Putting the worries about her own insufficient evidence together with that rule, Kathy has come to suspect that her religious beliefs might be irrational after all. Alvin Plantinga has argued that this suspicion is not as worrisome as it seems, and that a belief cannot be shown to be irrational by appealing to a lack of sufficient evidence alone. For example, consider the existence of other minds. Kathy knows that she, Kathy, has a mind. She is, after all, directly aware of her own thoughts and feelings and deliberations and puzzlements. But how does she know that the bodies of the people she thinks of as her friends are connected to minds like her own? How does she know that there are any other minds at all? She doesn't have direct awareness of their thoughts and feelings. Instead, she observes various similarities between their bodies and hers, and infers that they have minds and mental states on the basis of that likeness. But if that's the best she can do, there's bad news and good news. The bad news is that this so-called analogical argument for other minds isn't really all that good. In fact, Plantinga argues, it is about as good, or bad, as the arguments for the existence of God that Kathy didn't find very conclusive. The good news is that since it is obvious to her, and to her atheist friends, that her belief in the existence of other minds is rational, she has learned something important. Sometimes a person's belief can be rational, even if the evidence the person has for the belief isn't what makes it rational. And so, if Kathy rationally believes in the existence of her friends who have minds like her own, she need not fear that they will show her belief in God is irrational merely by citing insufficient evidence or inconclusive arguments.